Good day everyone, I am John Michael Continido Sobog. For today's video, we're gonna talking about the different types of posture. Standing, walking, and sitting. Please watch my video.
Is in the right position. So if we look at our feet, we want to make sure that the weight is in the middle of our foot. So if I slide forward, I'm going to be in the ball of my foot, so you don't want to be there. And if I slide backwards, then I'm going to be in my heel. Okay, so we want to be somewhere right in that middle. So a lot of times, if you're feeling the weight kind of towards the balls of your foot, and then you can wiggle your toes, that means you're in the right position. Okay, so that's foot position. Next, we want to make sure that our knees aren't bent, so you want to make sure that the knees are straight. So think about really using these quad muscles here and tighten those guys, and that'll help keep them straight. From the hip, we want to make sure that our hips are underneath of us, okay? So we don't want to let the butt stick out like that, okay? We want to get the butt underneath of us, keep the hips underneath of you, so now everything is going down towards the floor. Alright, now low back position. With the low back, we don't want to excessively arch the back, and we don't want to round the back this way, okay? So we want to make sure that we're right there in the middle. Also, if we get our hips in the position, that actually helps with the low back position. Now, from up top, we want to make sure that the shoulders are actually opened up. So think about opening up your chest, lifting your chest up. Don't do it excessively because then the low back starts to arch. So you don't want to do this. You want to make sure that you're just doing this and moving from the upper back, okay? So not too much here, just a little bit, enough where you can actually feel the shoulder blades and the upper back muscles starting to work. And then last is our head position, so you want to make sure that your head is not too far forward, because that also makes our upper back round. So think about keeping the head back, think about keeping the chin down, so you don't want to be here because that kind of sends everything forward that way. So think about keeping that chin down. Again, think about keeping the chest up. Think about keeping the stomach tight with the low back flat and not arched or over rounded. And then hips through, legs tight. So you should be feeling a lot of different muscles working. And what happens is that starts to support us, and then you don't feel pain in all the different joints and tendons and ligaments. Okay? So just keep all those things in mind. I know there's a lot of things to remember, but we want to make sure that we're trying to stand like this as often as possible.
We're going to do this in a gym here, and what you need is a closet rod or a handy little dowel. So the dowel's going to go right behind your back, like this, and I'm going to show you. What we want to do is we want to be able to keep everything touching. Now that feels to a lot of you that this is a ton of tilt. But what you really want to do is just from here to here, all the way to your tailbone, that's a nice line. And what we're going to do is walk. So we're going to show you that the walk right here first, so I'm going to walk forward. We're going to really try to get this going. Now, I think it look easy, but a lot of people look very stiff. A lot of people look very stiff. What I'm really secretly doing is I'm actually doing this. I'm rotating with my movement. And it's flat and it moves like this. So that's the key to walking with the dowel here. So once again, now that you know what's going on, you want to view for it here in these four quadrants. So this is what we're going to do. And if you get tired, it doesn't have to be this arm. It can be Alright, like I said, all you need is a handy dowel. Run yourself to Home Depot or anything fun. The closet rod.
Is you're going to go ahead and sit in your chair. From here, you're gonna go all the way back to the back of your chair. And if you don't have a back, I'm gonna be discussing that next, all right? So go ahead and bring your butt all the way back. From here, you wanna make sure that your feet are on the floor, okay? You don't wanna let your, you don't wanna put your weight in your toes here. You wanna make sure that the whole foot is on the floor. If you have shorter legs, you can put a book or a stool underneath your legs to make sure that your feet are grounded. Next, you wanna make sure that your hips are way back in the chair comfortably, okay? And then we wanna discuss our low back position. Our low back position, you don't want to be too arched, and you don't want to be too flat here, okay? So what will help you out with that is a lumbar roll. So we can go ahead and put this on the back of our chair. And then you're gonna put that right here in your low back, and you don't wanna arch too much in this position. You wanna make sure that you're a little bit flat so you can push your low back into the lumbar roll. From here, you're gonna make sure that your shoulders are down and then lift the chest up. So from here, keep that good shoulder position, and then you wanna make sure that the head is in the good position. So bring your head back, chin down, and then when you look side to side, you wanna make sure that you're looking more with your eyes and not with your head too much. We wanna avoid that forward head position because that puts a lot of strain on your neck. Now, if you guys don't have a back to the chair, what we can do is you're gonna scoot forward here and then make sure that your feet are back down on the floor. And then make sure that that low back is in a neutral position. So what I like to do for a test is I like to go all the way arched and then all the way rounded and then stay right there in the middle. You should feel the weight right through your hips. And then now with the computer position, you want to make sure that your gaze is forward. So if your computer screen is too low or too high, that's going to affect your neck position, okay? So keep the monitor right there in front of you and then move with your eyes. Like I mentioned before, you don't want to move with your head. And then with the mouse position, you want to make sure that your arm is down. You don't want to elevate the shoulder, so keep the shoulder down and then move from here, okay? So monitor straight forward and then mouse right here where your shoulder is in a nice rested position. And then for typing, you want to keep the wrists nice and neutral, so you don't want to elevate the wrist too much and you don't want to flex the wrist too much. So if you have something supporting your wrist here on the keypad, you can just type here with the neutral wrists so that you don't get anything like carpal tunnel or any kind of wrist issues.